because Stevie's there, basically. It's a massive storm. Everton 11-2 to get the victory. Liverpool pretty much 2-1 on. A draw coming in at 7-2.
That's where all the wind's coming from.
From Stevie, yes.
Nichols' diet.
Is now a good or a bad time to face Everton?
Well, it's...
It's
worse. It's the worst time than it was a few weeks ago.
Yes.
When they were really struggling.
Obviously, you come into this game off the back of a 3-3, all energy, high-intensity game against Newcastle where you drop points. Everton with a stroll, meanwhile.
Didn't play well.
Yeah.
Made mistakes. Van Dijk said he gave a bit of a rollicking in the dressing room. Maybe he looked in the mirror because he wasn't...
No, he had a bad game.
He wasn't the player he was in the City game. Isak gave him a lot more problems. Points, but when you're a player and you know that you're lacking the quality of the opposition, then you need to sort of work off anything you can get, and that is, the hard work, closing them down, getting in their face, and making sure the crowd are getting behind you from the off. And I would imagine because of all the great derbies between these two in this city, and that they are moving stadium, it's probably going to be one of the best atmospheres there's been for many a year. Whether that'll make a difference on the pitch from an Everton perspective, I just don't know. But certainly if Liverpool play like they did at Newcastle, it's going to make it a tougher game for them. Yeah,
Kieran, as a player, how much aware are you, as Craig mentioned, this is the last Merseyside derby at Goodison?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need every bit of motivation they can get. Goodison Park's never been a favourite place for any manager to go or player. It's always been a difficult stadium to play at. I think it's definitely lost its kind of zest over the last probably decade or so, but it's still an awkward place to play at, considering the atmosphere and the stadium being kind of low and close to the ground. It's always an awkward place to play. So yeah, I think that they have to use every single bit of motivation they can get, and Craig's right, there have been some unbelievable derbies there over the years, and if it's going to be the last one, they might as well go out of a bang. And so if that's the case, Liverpool do have to be aware of that. And I don't know how many players have played in how many new players there are playing for Liverpool in this derby game, but it'll definitely be a shock to any of the players that are playing their first Merseyside derby for sure.
I mentioned the wind. It's going to be there whether this game goes ahead or not, Frank. How does that affect as just playing football just normally? How disruptive is a wind?
It's a big problem, and I think it's a bigger problem than when it rains, because you have sometimes issues to appreciate the ball, how it comes, from a long pass, for example, a cross and everything, and if you play with or against, you have to change the way of thinking, of judging and feeling the football. So it's a big effect. It's a big change of tactic at some point. It's worse for a football player to play with winds or against the wind.
Does it help the poorer team or aid the better team overall? What would you say?
Doesn't help the better team. Well, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I mean, the rain. I agree with Frank. The rain is much more comfortable to play in. When you play in the wind, you're judging the flight of the ball is very difficult.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're defending a ball coming through or you're trying to play a ball through or you're trying to switch the play. The wind just has so many, particularly at Goodison and other grounds where it swirls. So yeah, that is difficult. But I suppose maybe from an Everton perspective, we play a more direct game. Maybe it would help them pen Liverpool in and squeeze the game a little bit. I don't know. Do we have any confirmation that the aforementioned Steve Nicholl is actually going to this game?
He's not going to the game.
Or is it just, I can't be bothered?
He won't go to the game. No way. No way will he do that.
He's in Liverpool.
No, but it's Stevie. It's too much of a hassle, isn't it?
It's a hassle.
And it's early.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 12:30 kick-off. He won't be out of bed.
He'll go in his dressing room.
In his pink dressing gown. Just take a look at everybody's predictions for this game. I suppose no surprise, it is the league leaders that everybody think is going to go there and actually pretty much win comfortably. Just taking a look at other Premier League matches that are scheduled to be played over the next few days. Let's take a look at those fixtures. Brentford, Newcastle, Villa Saints, Crystal Palace take on Manchester City at Selhurst Park. The late games at Old Trafford, United take on Forest. On Sunday, it's Leicester against Brighton, Ipswich against Bournemouth, and then on Monday, big game for both of those teams, really. Both managers under pressure.
Somebody called it the Graham Potter derby.
What, whoever loses gets Graham Potter as their new manager?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good shout.
Yeah.
West Ham take on Wolves.